All right, today we're tackling a really big idea, one that might just flip the switch on how you see every single challenge you've ever faced. What if I told you there are no victims in the world? I know, it's a bold claim. So let's dive in and really figure out what that means. I mean, of course you have, right? We all have that feeling of being powerless, like you're just at the mercy of events. It's a totally universal human experience. But what if that feeling, as real and as painful as it is actually based on a huge misunderstanding of how reality works? The source material we're looking at today drops this bombshell of a statement. Now, at first glance, that sounds impossible, maybe even a little insulting. But there is a deep, logical framework behind it, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack together. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. This just goes against everything we're taught about fairness and justice. But to really get a handle on this perspective, we have to shift our focus. We need to look away from the outside world and turn inward, specifically to the nature of our own consciousness. You see, this whole philosophy really hinges on one crucial idea, that you are not just one single unified thing. Instead, this viewpoint suggests that we're actually made of two very distinct parts. So let's take a look at what they are. According to our source, we're not just this body and mind trying to figure things out down here on Earth. Nope. There's another part of us, what's called a higher self, and it exists on a completely different plane, kind of orchestrating our lives from a much, much higher vantage point. So on the left, you've got the physical self. That's us. That's you and me, the ones experiencing all the ups and downs, the joy and the pain of daily life. And then on the right, we have the higher self. Think of this part as the director of your life's movie, the one who's read the entire script from beginning to end. So here's the key takeaway. The higher self is the planner. It operates outside of our normal concept of time with this incredible bird's eye view of our entire existence. And its main goal? It's not about making us comfortable. It's about our growth. So what does this planner actually, do? Well, that brings us to the next really startling idea. So if there's a planner, then what exactly is being planned? This is where the whole idea gets really wild. The source argues that our lives aren't just some chaotic, random series of events. It's more like a meticulously curated curriculum for our soul. You heard that right. Every single major event, every important relationship, every tough challenge, it was all chosen. Not by the physical you that's listening to this right now, but by your higher self before you were even born. But why on earth would anyone choose hardship? It seems counterintuitive, right? Well, the source is really clear on this. It's all about creating a very specific curriculum. The higher self designs a life path packed with the exact challenges that will spark the experiences we need for our soul to grow. To really drive this home, the source gives a really powerful example. A soul that chooses a life with cancer. Now, it's not a punishment, it's seen as a catalyst for profound lessons in things like grace, acceptance, and the true meaning of family and love. This is the big question, isn't it? It's the logical next step. If I'm the architect of my own life, why does it so often feel completely out of my control? And why in the world is there no memory of making these massive plans? Well, this philosophy has a pretty fascinating answer for that. The forgetting isn't a bug in the system, it's actually a crucial feature. Let's dig into why that is. It's simple, really. To truly learn a lesson, you can't know you're in a classroom. Forgetting allows for total immersion. It's what makes the experience feel so raw, so real, so visceral. Think of it like this. Imagine playing a video game where you already have all the cheat codes and you know every single outcome. The game would completely lose its meaning, right? It wouldn't be a challenge. This veil of forgetfulness is what ensures that we play the game of life with real stakes. Okay, so what do we do with all this? How does this completely radical perspective on reality actually change the way we live our lives, right here, right now? This quote from the source material is the ultimate reframe. It changes everything. You go from being a victim tossed around by the waves of fate to being a passenger on a journey. And not just any journey, a journey you designed, even if you can't remember the itinerary. A perspective like this transforms everything. Suddenly, you're no longer a victim. You're a co-creator. Challenges aren't just obstacles. They become the very opportunities for growth that your soul was craving. And it allows you to live with this deep, abiding trust that your life has a higher purpose and that you're never, ever truly alone. And that's how we come full circle. Look, from our physical point of view, victimhood feels incredibly real, and we can't discount that. But from the expanded, zoomed-out view of our higher self, every single event is a chosen piece of a grander design. In a world of conscious choice, the entire concept of a victim just dissolves. So this is the question this whole philosophy leaves us with. It is a radical idea, for sure, but it's one that's worth sitting with. If you really are the architect of your own reality, what lessons did you script for yourself? What exactly did you come here to experience?